Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much for having me. Sorry, I don't hold the mic. You hold it. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, great, thank you. So we're at Toca Social for Angry Birds. Firstly, are you a football fan and do you like Angry Birds?
I'm not a massive football fan. I got into football more recently and I love watching it. I'm probably now a Fulham fan, but just because I used to live nearby. But I love football, watching it, but I don't support a team, which probably saves me quite a lot of stress. Angry Birds, I've always played Angry Birds, I love it, and I think the Angry Bird costume was absolutely classic, and yeah, I think it's a great game. So yeah, it's good to be here, thank you.
So I'm going to ask about The Apprentice. How did that process all start? Were you contacted? Did you apply for the show?
I applied, so actually that was the third time I'd applied for the show, and like the first 2 years I'd gone basically to the very last stage and then hadn't gone any further, and I was like, right, this is the last time I'm going to apply, because I got to like the last 100 people both years, and that year was like third time I was like, right, this is the last time I'm going to do it, and I got in, and I basically actually got in like as a substitute or whatever, but then like a month and a half before the show started, they're like, right, you're actually in the final edit, let's go, and I was like, whoa, it's epic. So yeah, it's good.
So what I love about the show, firstly the exterior of London is always great, but it's the fact you get a phone call at 5 in the morning, it's pitch black, and then all of a sudden you got to be somewhere in 15 minutes and it's day bright and you're all dressed up to the T. What is that whole process like?
It's absolutely mental. Like honestly, I've never felt anything like it. And like I get bored so easily. I've got ADHD. I get super bored. I want everything to be happening the whole time. And like with the show, there is never a dull moment. Like it's absolutely mental. And you get woken up so early, and it's like, right, you're going to this place. You've never heard that place. You don't know where that place is. Could be Egypt. Could be Hong Kong. Could be just down the road. You have no idea. And it's so exciting because I also love no one's an expert pretty much in what you're doing every time. You just have to think on your feet and just go get it done, and it is amazing. And you're competing against these people, but you're also friends with these people in the end, and like you get to know them and you're living with them. So it's like the most extraordinary, most like I'm like an adrenaline hunter, I'd say, and it is adrenaline on steroids. So yeah. So
it's the 20th year, but I must admit, it's the first year I've noticed there's been no rewards. So is that because you have been going to Hong Kong and Egypt?
Yeah, everyone's like, they spent all the money, they run out of money. I don't know, to be honest. I think it might be because a couple of the candidates didn't pay their TV license, but it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, I've heard that the rewards aren't like amazing for the candidates because you're knackered, you just want to chill, you've had a whole day out filming, all that sort of stuff, and there are no rewards, and afterwards you basically just go back to the house and have to talk on the camera, and that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, they used to do rewards every year, 19 years of rewards, and now they decided to stop. But they also decided to stop the panel show, which I was so excited for, which was, now they've got Unfinished Business, which is still great, but it used to be like a proper TV show where you in a panel, you had guests, everything like that. So exciting. But yeah, anyway, things change, and I think they're trying to go with the times. It's quite, it's a show that's been on for so long, and they need to adapt it to what's going on in the other formats.
What's more scarier, being a PM or being in the boardroom for the final 3 if you're going to get fired or not?
Being the last 3 in the boardroom, oh my god. Okay, so being a PM is the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. I got a lot of hate for me being PM, and a lot of people said I did nothing, but that's just how it happened. And it's so stressful, I can't tell you. Like, it's just constant stress on your back, and you know that in the end, if people have to blame someone, it's going to be the PM. But being in the final 3 is like next level. Like, you are fighting for your life. You are there to, exist. You want to be in the show. You want to win the prize. You want to be Lord Sugar's business partner. And when you're final 3, and it's just other 2 people, especially when you're looking at them like, oh my god, these people are actually amazing, and you know they're good. And they're sometimes your mates, like often your mates. So you don't want to fight them. You don't want to have an argument with them, but you also need to back your corner. It's so difficult. I say being in bottom 3 is worse. But PM is long, like 3 days of stress. Being bottom 3 is an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of stress.
And also, is it quite intense having Baroness Brady and Tim on the challenges with you guys? Because I'd feel like I'd be walking around eggshells if that was me.
Yeah, it's very rare to get a compliment from either of them, Baroness Brady or Tim, and like they are iconic on the show, and they are great people, and they're obviously incredible business people, and you want to impress them, but you sort of, when you're working, you look over and you're like, see them in the corner, you're like, oh, they don't look too happy, like it's not ideal. And so that's a bit like, and that kind of knocks your confidence a bit, because you're like, oh my god, looking at their reaction, you're like, oh no, they're not happy. But ultimately they're nowhere near as scary as Lord Sugar, and you kind of feel like they do back you up. If you've done something good, they will back you up in the boardroom, and that is great, because it's like having like maybe like, you know, another teacher there when you're being naughty, but like you're not the one being naughty. They can back you up not being naughty. So it can work in your favour or it can work against you, but they're iconic and they're great. So yeah.
I'd love to know also how you felt when you were on stage talking about the game, and you were saying we got great feedback, and obviously two of the guys were like, well, we were there, we didn't give you great feedback.
Yeah, so that was so stressful, that stage thing, because basically none of the tech worked. They obviously don't show it on stage, on the show. But when we were on stage, basically the tech all failed, and we looked like absolute morons. And they were like, afterwards when we got off, after all the camera stuff, they're like, don't worry, we're not going to show any of that. But we didn't know. So I was like, you know what, I'm PM, I'm fired, this is it, I'm going to get sort of done for this, but it's not my fault. So it was absolute carnage, and like obviously, you know, the pitch was good, but when the tech doesn't work and you're pitching about the tech, it's impossible, it ruins your flow. So it was so stressful, it was super cool. Like the people we were pitching to were like epic. Like Grace Beverly is an absolute, she's like one of my idols, like I'm obsessed with her, she's epic. It was so cool to pitch to her, and I was just like constantly looking at her. But yeah, it was super stressful. We were in the Roundhouse, which is like an iconic place, and pitching this game which I believed in, and Karishma made this insane game with the sub team, and that was amazing, and so it gave us the platform to pitch this game, but felt very deflated when we walked out. Yeah.
And what was it like to win as a peer?
At the time, it was honestly one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. Like I generally was like so happy. When it's aired, it's been less good. I've had quite a lot of hate about it because of the whole Karishma thing. And like me and Karishma are such good mates, and like it's just like how the public perceives it. But I took her off the pitch team because I was like, I need to pitch, I need to be there, and so it dampened it a bit. But in the moment, it was honestly like I was so happy, because it's when you're under such a high level of stress and then you win. It's not about you, it's just about the team, but it's on your back. It's like, you know, if you're a CEO at a company or if you're the captain of a football team, and like it is on your back even though it's not on your back, but like it was amazing. I felt so amazing.
In hindsight, do you regret the whole changing of the pitch team?
You know what, I think like I never thought it was going to be bad, and I never thought it was a bad decision, and I was always going to be on the pitch team, and Karishma was amazing. You know, she is amazing, she's iconic this season, and like you can see everything she's done. I think she would have been great on the pitch team. And Connor and Kieran, the thing is, I'd pitched with them 3 times before in other episodes. Not Ed, obviously, but I pitched with them before, and it worked so well. And we'd done amazing pitches. You know, I'd won 4 out of the 5 tasks at this point, and I was like, I'm used to the pitching of them, and that was why I changed over. I was always going to swap one of them out. It's just who it was, and she was sub PM, I was PM, so it made sense to swap over sub PM to PM. But looking back at it, I think obviously she would have done an insane job, but we won the task. I don't like, that's why I understand like why people focus on it so much, because we won. Yeah, Karishma smashed it. She was the best on that team by far, on our team. But it's not just about one person a team. It's a whole thing, and yeah, that's where it worked.
Also, in hindsight, when it comes to like the edit side, can it be frustrating to watch back? Is that the same with all the contestants or candidates?
The edit honestly is like, I'm gutted about the edit. I think in almost every single episode, I don't feel the edit is justified what I was doing, and you know, anyone would say that. You know, people would say that about different things, but all the comments I get is, who are you? Are you in the show? And I'm like, yes, because like the thing is, if you do good stuff,
you won as a PM, so you are in the show.
I know I won. Yeah, it doesn't feel like if I did, and like if you're good at things and if you don't cause drama, you're not good TV. And I do think, I'm not saying I was the best there at all, but when on all the tasks, I felt like I contributed a lot, and I think my creativity is like my biggest trait, and I feel like that came through in a lot of the tasks, but not on the cameras, not on the show, so I can't say anything more, but like it's just, you know, it's one of those things you got to take on the chin.
And then lastly, what else can we expect from you in the future?
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear.
What else can we expect from you in the future?
So I've got my business called Harry Concert still. It's a focus drink for people with ADHD, and I'm also trying to get into presenting, so I'm doing a bit of presenting gigs, doing some presenting at races for Race ATV, a bit of cricket, a bit of things like that. So that's hopefully what we'll see more of it.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I loved it. Thank you.